Down in 91, transitioning through like the Cerritos, Artesia area, heavy traffic all the way on the westbound 91, all the way to the 110 now. I know that we were all talking about this piece of this car that's hanging off the side of the vehicle. CHP's talking about it too. They're saying, all units be advised, there are sharp, hot pieces of metal that are flying off of this vehicle and they're just laying on the 91 freeway. This is causing a serious hazard for anyone that's driving in any of those lanes. I mean, you could easily blow a tire driving over any of those things, and they're waiting for that big chunk of wheel, of rim, basically, to come off, and I'm pretty sure they're going to have a CHP unit stop and sort of sweep that thing over to the side so someone doesn't hit it.
And that's the thing that's so alarming is you see them kind of coming up on the right side, all of those traffic there on the left, drivers not knowing what's going and not knowing that this car might be literally falling apart and pieces might be flying into their lanes of traffic. Just so many chances that this driver has been taking. We think there might be two people in this vehicle. At one point, it looked like they might have been throwing things out of the window. And the car has been kind of in this state where there's some pieces coming apart for 15, 20 minutes now. Still, you know, there's missing one tire, is on the rims. Now the bumper is coming off and still going at very high speeds.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time till this driver ends up coming to a halt, and you know, you can see the car leaning to the right quite a bit, and you know, this driver has to know something's not right. But obviously, in these kind of situations, fight or flight, they're going to do whatever it takes to try to get away. But it makes it a little more difficult when there's traffic, when it's daylight, and as Mark has been telling us, several helicopters from above that are following this burglary suspect.
And it's been going on for more than an hour now. If you look on the right side, or you look on our screen, we have kind of some of the shots earlier, so you can see exactly what we're talking about when we talk about that rim. I mean, the sparks that were coming off of the passenger side of the vehicle. This is earlier, and yet this driver has still been going, is still trying to go at high speeds on freeways where there's traffic on both sides of him.
Parts of the rim still flying off. You can see those big chunks hitting all those cars. So all those people that are on their way to work are now part of this pursuit and this investigation, because if those are big chunks of metal that are hitting their car, that's damage right there.
And now he's on the eastbound 91. He's in the carpool lane, which is why we believe that it looks a little bit more open.
The car is literally falling to pieces, Tina.
Yeah, and that's the thing is he's on the carpool lane on the left. All of those cars on the right, like we've been seeing parts of this car go over there.
Hitting all these cars.
Yeah.
This is going to be a mess. I mean, do you see the pieces, the chunks of car flying out?
It's just remarkable. And yeah, I mean, more and more.
All right, let's go back to Mark. Mark, what do you got? I'm floored.
I can't believe, did you see, there are like pieces of this rim shooting out like machine gun bullets off the side. I mean, everybody that's driving, it's incredible. The other thing that we're worried about here, CHP said, all units be advised, coming up ahead, the HOV lane, which is the lane this guy's in right now, is completely stopped. 100% stopped. There it goes, we just lost the bumper. So this driver is going to have to make some fast moves here if he wants to keep moving forward, because the freeway is coming to an almost dead stop here, and I don't think he has any ability to maneuver that well.
What you're saying right now, it looks
scary, because if he gets out and he's armed, you never know what could happen.
I am stunned that this BMW is still able to maneuver with only one front wheel.
Maneuver right here. Oh, he tried.
Now, I've been listening for CHP as to whether or not they're going to authorize a pit maneuver. I have not heard that, but clearly this following CHP unit is going to do it.
At that point, they tried. I mean,
yeah,
this person is not trying to stop, and I think it's becoming more of a risk to the safety if the pursuit continues.
Yeah, and you know, there's sort of rules as to when a pit maneuver can happen. It can't be too fast, and it also is ineffective if it's too slow. So I think maybe that CHP unit, that driver just saw his chance to sort of do that pit maneuver and took it. Also, a pit maneuver with only 3 wheels, that makes it even riskier, because this BMW is not going to behave the way that a normal car would behave if it had 4 wheels. So pit maneuvers become really risky, especially on a crowded freeway.
Oh, especially on a crowded freeway, yeah, there's no denying that. And you know, as we see chunks of this car just continue to fly off, that I'm surprised there's even any parts left of the car.
Did he open
the sunroof is now open. Not sure what they're doing, but the sunroof is open, which is good for, you know, the helicopters on air, because it's giving them the opportunity to kind of have a better idea of what's going on inside that vehicle.
Good morning to our viewers joining us on CBS 2 News. We are in Downey following a burglary suspect that has been trying to get away from police for more than an hour now. That black vehicle that is literally falling apart is on the 91 freeway.
Literally falling apart. The car is, the pieces are flying off of
40
it.
and 50 minutes.
Okay, this is a potential pit. Either that or
You
they're
can
trying to get a close look at who's inside and what's going on in there.
You can see that that vehicle has already lost its bumper. If you were to go over to the passenger side, that front tire is completely gone. It's been on rims. We saw, as you look at the video from earlier, you could see the sparks coming out. He has hit more than one car during this pursuit. These are burglary suspects that were first reported in a home in Walnut. A homeowner heard somebody in his house, called police, and then the suspect took off, and for more than an hour he has been driving, and for more than a half hour now, Chris, this driver has had his car kind of falling apart. Literally, we've seen pieces flying off, and yet he has not slowed down. He has not tried to get off of the freeway, and CHP is very close behind. We can see that, but trying not to make this situation worse, so they're keeping a bit of a distance, I think, hoping that this car is going to finally be disabled and not be able to go. But the driver is certainly not trying to slow down, I mean, we've been talking about just how we're amazed he's able to keep control. You can see how much the swerving.
Yeah, okay, this might be it right here where the car slams into that semi, and there's no way this car's
going to the door already open, and he's already now trying to get out.
We got a foot pedal. We got two people inside there of the vehicle. They're running out, and, you know, who knows if they're armed. Keep in mind, this is on a very busy freeway. You got the 91. But
went over the side there now.
The two suspects running, trying to get away, but when you've got that much Air Force in front of you.
And now driving into oncoming traffic, so people coming on the other side of the freeway might not even have known what was coming, and now these two guys got out of their car, jumped onto the other side of the freeway, and are running through traffic. And unfortunately, because of all those cars, it's kind of hard to see exactly where they are. We know that there are ground crews, there are also air crews keeping an eye, so I don't know if they think they can get away. There's definitely a lot of eyes on them, but it isn't a tough situation.
They're out of breath already, so, you know, they can only run so far, and we've seen this before where, you know, the suspects get out of their car and start rolling, and start running, but imagine being one of those drivers. I mean, don't stop, because they could potentially hijack you and take your car.
All right, putting their arms up now, getting down on the ground.
Okay, you see CHP officers right there.
Kind of coming from all directions.
Finally, the end to a pursuit that could have ended pretty badly, but unfortunately there's a lot of victims. You can see they put their hands up. Thankfully, you've got the officers right there who are taking this person into custody. But to give you a little bit of background information, this all started as a burglary out in Walnut. And apparently homeowners there heard someone inside their home, went and peeked outside of their bedroom, saw two men, potentially these men, and called 911. Authorities came, and the burglary suspects took off. And Tina, we've been wondering all morning whether it was just the one burglary suspect or two, but turns out that there was two people, and we've seen them throw evidence out the window, different papers,
and you just saw that K-9 unit that was ready. If they hadn't put up their arms and surrendered, that unit was definitely ready to take them into custody. And they got out of their vehicle, bailed on their vehicle on the other side of the freeway. So now that they are being taken into custody on this side, their vehicle's still on the other side, it is going to be a mess of traffic to clear this up. But thankfully, at least they're off of the roadway, no longer posing a threat to dangers. We're going to send you back to CBS Mornings. We're going to continue our coverage on KCAL 9.